He used to know a guy once. He's a pretty cool guy. He had a lot of friends. Good looks. But I don't know, there's something different about him. I don't know if it was the way he did stuff or just kind of the stuff he did. Whether it was either him talking to people, and in the distance, he seemed like a different person. A person that I never wanted to hang out with because he just, I don't know, I just could never put my finger on it. But, I mean, he had a lot of friends, played video games. I heard he was really good at them. Pretty good, met a lot of people, and I don't know, I just known him, saw him in the distance for years and years and years, and never wanted to talk to him because I was always worried about him fixing me. I had a lot of problems, and I never wanted him to help me because he seemed like he just helped everybody, and everybody was just so happy that he helped them. And it was just so weird how easily he did it. He just did it with a breeze, did it so easily. But he did it in a way that was different. He was a Christian person, but yet he never really quoted scripture like most Christians do. I mean, he quoted it, but he didn't, just quote one after another, after another, after another. He just kind of quoted here and there. But what's different, though, was the fact that he used life with it. And that's what made it different. And that's why I didn't want him to help me, because there's no way he could help me. There's no story in the Bible, there's no verse in the Bible that could help my problems, because there's no way. There's no way that I could help it. I have so many. And years down the road, all of a sudden, his mood changed. I don't know what happened. He just stopped. But for some reason, he still had that shine, but it was a little bit dimmer. He didn't help enough people to make it seem like make him feel happy. And all of a sudden, he went from talking to people to not being around me, not being around me, but not seeing him in distances. I never looked him in the eye still, and he just was off in his own world a lot more than what he used to be. Didn't talk to a lot of people anymore. He really just got the aspect of working, but he enjoyed it. He enjoyed the aspect of working because he was still helping people like he helped people mentally. But this time it was different because he was helping physically people, but yet somehow he was still doing himself physically and mentally. And I still never understood how he did it. I've always wondered how he just still did it and kept going. And then all of a sudden, one day, he just gone. He disappeared. He was gone for months, back and forth in church. Seen him here, seen him there, going places here and there. But there was always the question of, I wonder how he's doing. And for some weird reason, he still had that smile on his face every time he went somewhere. But it seemed like more and more people were praying for him. But for some weird reason, they're praying because of the stuff that was going on in his life. And I never understood that. How can someone be so everywhere but still go nowhere? And I guess the question that I have is, I guess failure, I guess is good? Because you still have happiness? Or is happiness always just hiding failure? And months down the road, all of a sudden, he changed. It was like a light switch. I don't know what happened. He changed. And I changed because I had stuff happen to me because I seen how he was. And I wanted to be like him. And I just wanted to keep being like him. And I just tried to keep happiness to all the stuff going on with me. And I just really wanted to be like him because it seemed like he always had it. He had that shine. He had that aspect of just knowing what to do in the right moments. And I watched from distances, just seeing the aspect of just growth, I guess. But whenever I heard people talking and praying and all that, what it seemed like is it was never growth. It seemed like he was getting torn down and going further away. But somehow he was growing because he was still happy. And then I really didn't see him. I heard he had a lot of family stuff going on. Really got used because of his workaholicness. Really used in everything, and it tore him up even more because he gave people trust so much that he had a lady friend and it really did not go out well. And something happened. I don't know what happened, but he just, then that, it tore him up even more because then he really had a lot of stuff going on even then, but he still somehow had that happiness somewhere that you could see, but on the outside it was brokenness. And I don't know. And now, a little bit ago, I walked up to him and asked a question to him. And I asked him, how can you be so happy but live in suffering? And how do you do it? What's the story behind it? And the thing that he told me was, I let myself go too far to the point of happiness that I never let myself open up to people enough to let myself get infected with the world, to see what the world truly is. I was always on the grass layer of the earth. When I found out life isn't just on the grass layer, it goes in depth, inside the roots, inside the soil, all the way down to clay and stone and all that. It's embedded. That's where life is. It's so far in depth that no one understands it. And once it gets infected, and once it gets rooted inside you, it's like cancer. It's like any disease, it will not stop until it hits its final point of resting. And he put his hand on my shoulder and he says, I work myself to death because I know in the end there's happiness for the person I work for. It's not the happiness of me, because I'm doing the suffering part so they don't have to do the work. because they've lived their life helping other people. So I'm going to live my life helping people while I'm suffering, because they've done that same thing too. And he said also, brokenness, broken bones, infections, open scabs, wounds, let them get infected, because it shows you the true pain of the world. You can't put a band-aid on everything. You cannot put a band-aid on mental illness. You cannot put a pill to every single problem and expect it to work fully. There's always side effects to everything. There's always side effects to every single problem in the world. There's always some type of cause and effect. So if you don't let yourself be open to the world, you're not going to be tough enough and to be able to deal the hard blows. And I just looked at him and I said, I don't get it. What do you mean? And I told him, I said, I looked up to you all the time. He's like, I never knew that. And he says, trust me, once you let yourself open and you show who you really are, that's when people around you will give you the opportunities and know that you're not just a person. You're willing to go through thick and thin, good times and bad times, the ups and downs, knowing that those people can always trust on you, even in those times. Even when you have no time, they know you will always make time, because they know that you value them more than something else. Even though you might have work the next day in 5 minutes, you might get 5 minutes of sleep, or an hour, or nothing. They just know they can rely on you. And I just looked at him and I said, I don't understand. How can you do it? I'm like, you look strong, but yet you're weak. I'm weak. I got no muscle. I'm weak. I'm a skinny little thing. I just love to run. And he looked at me and says, start with a pace. Once you find your pace, find your jog. Once you find your jog, make that your pace. After you find that jog and pace, go find your run. After you find that run, make that run your jog. But don't exhaust yourself too much. After you find that run and jog and your pace, repeat that process to the point where your run is someone else's jog. And it's not because you want to be faster, it's because you know how much endurance you can intake, and that you can take before you can really give in and know how much pain it really takes to really suffer. So I look at my life today and I sit there and I asked him today, I said, so what do I do? And he just says, just be you. Because that's all you can do. Don't try to impress. Don't try to be someone else. You be the best you are. Don't worry if you look like a weird hillbilly Scottish person. Just be you. Because if you're just you and you don't give up being you, people will give you the opportunities when they're ready. But you cannot give up whenever you have that side pain because you're running your chest off and you're just exhausted. Push through that run and find that jog again, because you know that's where you're comfortable at. And don't give up and go to a walk, because that's where you will stop, because you feel that pain. Stay moving in a good pace. Don't slow down to let things catch up. And don't run too fast where you exhaust yourself. That person is me. That person I talked to is me. That person influenced me to be the person I am today. To never give up. To always look. And to always help. Even though it's the roughest times. No matter what. And even to work. Whenever it's not the greatest times. And always to help people. No matter what. The guy's name was Josh. And my name is Silky. Josh changed me into be Silky. And that's why I love being Silky. Because it's a whole new me. If there's anything you can take from this, people, is don't give up. Even when it's rough. Because the bad times are only here temporarily. So go through them step by step. Even if it's rough. I hope I have more times like this talking with you guys. Because this is what I wanted my channel to be when it first started. But it never got here. Because I was so caught up in my video games. I was caught up in people. I was caught up in friends. I never opened myself up to the world. And whenever I had a couple people in the past couple of years come up to me and ask me, Josh, how do you live life with a crap ton of things happening in your life? How do you go day by day, wake up, and not think about suicide, knowing you've lost friends, lost people, don't have people your age, your friends? And the only thing I say to that is, welcome to my generation. My generation doesn't have the gumption of pushing through because they get force-fed everything except for suffering. This world tries to this world tries to hide the suffering behind walls. They don't want people to endure it. But yet generations before us dealt with that. And we can't even talk about race, anything like that. I'm not going to get into politics because I don't really care about it. Because that's not what this video is about. The biggest thing is just be you, no matter how weird it is. Try everything when you can, even if it hurts, cost a little bit of money, because you can always get money back if you just work hard enough, even if it's just a little bit. Happiness does not come from money. Happiness comes from you knowing that you still live every day. You can help people, even if it's just, hi, how you doing? Shaking their hand, good morning, nice to see you. Good to have you at work today. Good to see you inside class. Just knowing that there's other people out there not like you. Knowing the people that don't have your work ethic, don't know your story. But when they do, make sure it's not about you. Make sure they know that it's just what they need to hear. Because they already know about you. Because they can tell by what you do. Don't tell them the good. Don't tell them what they need to hear. Tell them what you think they need to hear. For them to help you. Sorry. Had a long day at work. Can't think. I'm also not good with words. You guys will figure that out. Have a good day. Have a good night, whatever time it is. But never give up, no matter what the circumstance is. Talk to you guys later.